Hello world, PDR coming at you here with the 1995 Honda Accord. Some crash damage on it. Larger dent. Let's see through this board a little bit. It's kind of sunny. And it's sunny and not so warm out. It's about 50 degrees right now. It's getting warmer as we speak. I've got all my tools set up. And let's take a look into this board. Yeah, it's an older car. It's got this large dent here, and then if we zip back a little bit, we'll see we've got that one, and then there's even a little tiny guy right here, and then there's this wow up top that was caused probably in the same time frame that this lower one happened. So this little area right here, honestly, if we get up real high, there's a, let's see if you can see that through the camera, I don't know, there's that one. But I'm going to start with a couple of glue tabs, and let's just stick the camera on the thingy here and give it a couple of glue tabs right off the bat. I've got everything set up here. And I'm going to start with the little Keiko crease tab, actually the little baby blue one probably. Right, I would say right on the line, but I kind of want to be on this front fascia line, because if you notice this line right here, it kind of bends out a little bit, and it's supposed to stay bent out a little bit, but it just got flattened and crushed. So I'm going to go right there with that first one. And yeah guys, placement of the tabs is, you know, it's pretty crucial. You obviously want to place it in the right spot. And I'm going to go right there with that one, kind of on the fascia itself. It's an older car. I'm not worried about the paint pulling off. I am going to pull it fairly rapidly. I'm not going to let it cure for more than 2 minutes or cool. And I'm going to come right along next to it. Give myself another tab right there, another chance at it. And this little tiny baby crease looks like a little wimpy tab I got in a hand puller set that I did not do an unboxing for because it was such a kind of a cheap menial tool, but I'll show you guys what that tool is right now. Where's that little hand guy? Obviously I'm digging through my bag. There it is. It was this little thing, and it's kind of cheap. It was a Super PDR, one little hand puller. So I mean, we can see what that'll do. We'll try it. First time ever, tool trying. I guess if you're pulling in the middle of a large dent and you just want your manual pull, but I think we need a little bit more. So let's go with the little slide hammer action. Come over here. That one popped. Come right here with the little cheap one. Wow. I kind of heard a little pop of a sound there. Now I'm checking the paint. Did I pull any? Looking at the glue. No, but it's fragile, guys. It's a 1995. We're not talking about a new car. And another thing about glue pulling is you pretty much always want to only glue pull on a factory paint. I know that this car probably has some repaint on it, but this panel itself is factory. Do I need to pump up my little thing? People ask me about this too. This is literally an oil sprayer for cooking that I think was like $8, either at a Fred Meyer or a Walmart or something like that. Just a little cooking sprayer. So yeah, that moved it. That moved some metal. This flange down here was bowed out, and I actually took my hammer, the handle of my hammer, and went like this with it, kind of lifted it back up so it was a little bit straighter, because that helps the metal want to come out a little more. Let's give it a couple more pulls. Let's use that little blue Keiko crease that I had. right here. Give it a little cleaning off. Now, the alcohol in this sprayer right now, guys, is only 70%. I have 91%. That I just didn't want to pour out the 70% to... It works, it just doesn't work as well. The 91%, or if you can find like 98% isopropyl alcohol, works the best. Let's turn the hat around just in case I'm getting it in the way. Let me take a look at what you guys are seeing. Did not move a lot, but it moved a little. So let's give it a couple more pulls. And at this point in the video is when I say I sure do appreciate you all clicking on this video. I really do. If you would hit that subscribe button, that'd be awesome. It helps out the channel a lot, and I'd love to see the community grow. Let's give it another pull right here. And that was right on the line. And I'm going to use a big tab with a little bit of glue. If you notice, I'm just using one click of glue, a larger crease tab, but I'm just setting it right there. Kind of pushed it in a little. Let's see what temperature the panel actually is. 63 degrees, if you see that, 65 right there in the sun. So it's about perfect temperature for the black glue, 65 degrees. Once you get up to that 70, or even hotter, it's gonna stay wet or hot or whatever. It cools at about 70, and it's just perfect temp right now. I'm just giving it a little bit of time, and let's try the big old slidey right here. There's one, gave it a nice pop. Oh, I'm hitting it hard, guys. There we go. Now that was a serious pull. So we'll see what we got with once we take this glue off, and then we might have to come in and tool the rest out with just tooling it. And on this one I'm going to use non-capped tips, just sharp tips, metal to metal. A lot of people ask me, why do I do that? Well, I've done it that way for 20 years. And going to be investing in some of the tools that I know have those softer tips and interchangeable tips, the hard rod and some of the better tools. That's just an investment. And I think at this point is when I want to see it from that side, how much I actually got out. Now we're gonna try just one more pull. And on this one, I might just take a larger tab. Let me see if I can find a good tab for this. Maybe a larger tab and just hit it right there and just try to get the most of that meat out. I'm gonna give it one full squirt of half across, across the half of it. Words are fun. And then this one. Bam. Bam, son. That's a shout out to Joe Robinette, a bushcraft guy. I watch a lot of YouTube guys. So I really appreciate it when my YouTube community grows. I try to reply to all the comments, and I sure do appreciate when you guys leave a comment and leave a thumbs up on the video. That's awesome. So I'm going to give that about 45 seconds, and if you notice I'm kind of standing in the shade of it. I could turn this on just to show you what we're talking about here. Let me turn this one on. Boom. As high as it goes. Kind of shows you a little bit more. Yeah, and I'm right through the center on that one. So I should be wearing my glove so I don't like pinch my hand. I don't want to use the large puller, and the lifter wouldn't do anything because it would just push down on the feet right here. If anybody's wondering why I'm not using the lifter, it would just push down as it's pulling up. It would basically not do anything. Oh, this is one of those cheap tabs. So yeah, it doesn't really fit on the puller that well, holds, it works. I'm gonna swing it around. Swing it around again. I kind of want to go like that. Yeah. I mean, it works. It pulled. I didn't clean the tab prior to doing it. I normally always want to spray down my tabs with a little bit of alcohol also to prep them. There we go. It's moving, guys. So I know this video is getting a little bit long. I think what I'm going to do is come back in just a sec when I've got some of this being tooled out, and I'll have a different angle, the door open, the drilling. I mean, I can always show you what I'm going to do right now. Dang, let's just do it like this. Let's just go bam. Grab the battery. Switcheroo it up to this one. Come around here. And I'm going to zip a hole right here, old school style, because I know this car's access and I know where I can drill it. Back in the first 4 or 5 years of me doing dents, the old way of doing a dent would be to drill a hole to get access. The reason why I am, guys, is because there is a gas tank here. There's a little, it's kind of tough, and there's this antenna for the radio, so it's kind of tough. And since there we go, it's not a good sound, but we're using the impact gun instead. Get a nice little hole. And since the customer that owns this car won't mind one bit, being that it's my car, so I wanted to get a video up for you guys today, and I didn't want this big ass dent on my car. We picked up this little Honda because we needed a car. So sometimes times are tough and you gotta buy a little cheap Honda. But let's get hammy and tappy and get on back to this right here. Now I'm gonna want my board, switcheroo the batteries again, not break the nice drill tip. And here we go. I'm gonna grab number 1, and I think just to test the metal out, I'm gonna go for this little tiny baby dent right here, just to kind of see what we're looking at. I mean, I know these old Hondas like the back of my hand, guys. I've probably worked on, I wouldn't even want to guess how many Honda Accords I've worked on, but definitely in the thousands. So let's take this little tiny baby dent out, just to kind of see how this metal's moving. And like I say, the metal's 65 degrees right now, so I'm not too worried about the paint cracking, but down here, if I start pushing hard, yeah, it'll crack because it's old paint. And now that I'm looking into this paint, it might not be factory. I think it might be repainted. I'm not worried about it. I just want it to look nicer. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna start right here and I'm gonna dial right on through. Before I start this work, I wanna make sure that we're still filming. It looks like we are, and you got a good angle. Come around like this. And maybe give you that, I don't know. Does that give you a little bit more angle? I don't know. Obviously, everybody that normally watches is going, "Where's wifey?" And wifey is literally like 50 feet away. She's just chilling. She's not feeling that well, so she's not gonna be filming right now, but we might make another video later on. This one was just something, me playing with a car. I figured I'd bring you guys in for it. Now, if you notice where I'm at, I'm running this line back and forth, and I've got my tool, I'll show you. I've got my tool like this, and it just kind of drops in and wedges out to about there, and I give it baby pushes like that. It will not get all the way down to the bottom. It won't. This is as far as it will go, right there. And that's just because the way the car is made. There's no access into that folded over seamed edge right here. So all I can get to is about a 1/4 inch off of it. So yeah, I can get past the body line, but not much more. And I don't want to make any weird pushes in the fascia because that looks not right. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is find this front edge right here. Looking in my board, I see as far down as my tool will go. I mean, maybe a super thin, super skinny tool could get all the way down to the edge because you got about 2 millimeters of clearance. But not this guy. You know, not on my own silly cheap Honda. So this is one of those dents that I could easily spend a couple hours just doing what I'm doing right now, and instead of you know, trying to push the dent out, just basically start with the finish work and do it super, super slow. That's how you get the super fine result. But or obviously having some softer tips and just moving more metal at once, right? Somebody with common sense just thought. But I am just kind of trying to get it to that point that I know it's going to go. See that? See that pop point? I'm trying to work this line enough so that I know it's going to want to just bring itself out. There we go. And now I'm going to keep on working that oil canned area, which is right here, guys. This may be a little longer of a video, gosh, but from start to finish we've had no clips now, so why clip it? I mean, I can clip it and come back and show you guys how we got this thing to pop out, and or you know, how it ended up, but I'd rather show you right here, right now, what I'm doing to actually get the meat of this big bad boy out. The reason why I said I knew it was repainted, because this little thing right here looks like an orange peel that, or no, it's called, the terminology is called fisheye. It's a fisheye. So it's where a piece of unclean metal was painted and the paint didn't stick properly or the clear coat didn't stick properly. Now I'm up top here, guys, and I'm gonna come up through this top. See where I'm at? Right here. And I'm gonna go bing, 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 bing. A lot tighter than that, but I'm rounding it out until I get down to about here. And then it's gonna go boom and pop out. But before I do that, I'm gonna come up top here, use the back side of my tool, the elbow to my tool, and get this big guy out real quick. I don't know if you can see him, but or if you have a visual on it, but it's not that huge. It's a 50-cent piece size dent. In the industry, yeah, it's a pretty big dent. But I'm using the elbow of the tool. Same thing, the tip goes down like this, and I'm just elbowing it out. Get away, fly. And I'm gonna get this little guy out real quick, which is almost out, by the way, just FYI. And you know, do I want to make it perfect? Not really. It's kind of a crapper car, but it's my car, and yeah, I want to make it at least nice enough that I can say there was a big, huge caved-in dent here. Show them the video, show them the end result, and they'll say, well, gosh darn, that's pretty good. And guys, another thing on that note is I never claim to be the best. I'm not. I'm 20 years in the business. I know who the best is. There's one guy that's probably the best at dents, and his name is Shane Jacks, and he makes that hammer that I use. And he's really good. And I don't think any dent guy would really disagree with that if they know who Shane Jacks is. So, but as far as how good I am, Just a guy that keeps trying every day for 20 years. You know, I'm probably the 1371st best tech. There's probably 1,300 people that are better than me. And a lot of it is just the patience. So now I've been playing around with that. It's how patient do you want to be? And me at, 46 years old, I could be pretty damn patient now. But when I started this at 26 years old, I was not a patient person. So, but then I've seen young kids like Dentless Touch do extremely good work, and I've seen almost all of his videos, and shout out to Dentless Touch, and I think he's in California, San Diego, and he's an excellent tech. Yeah, this is so oil canny that I have to get down here and make some severe pushes along this body line. Once I find my tool, which is right here, I'm going to make some strong pushes that will not crack paint, but will definitely make push marks. And I'm not worried about those push marks at this point. I'm just trying to get that thing to really stay out. And, honestly, if something got hit like this, it bent this whole edge. So let's do a little tiny common sense thing and grab this edge and kind of manhandle it out. Because I just want this edge to move out like a millimeter or two. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, guys? Like that. Like just to pull the whole edge out, because this whole edge got pushed in. So now we're getting close. I want to give that a little 3M Perfect It and buff that little scuff off. Get down to there. I might even put a piece of glue on there if my glue gun's still hot. It is. Let's put a little tab right here, right in the center of that little fascia, and just give it a good yank. See if that'll move some metal. And we're getting real close to making this a lot better. Of course, what I will do, guys, is make 2 clips and show you the very, very, very end result. So I'll come back in and, show you do an outro and, walk through this dent with you and show you how it ended up looking. But this is the majority of it. This is the meat and potatoes of dent work, where I'm, I would look at a dent like this and say, gosh, I could put 1,000 pushes in there easily. And you can. If you do it nice and slow and take your time and use the patience method. Let's give this thing a yank. Try to move some metal here. I think it did. Actually think it did. Look at the old 71% isopropyl. But either way, you just take your time, give it a little pick. Once you get the edge up like that with the glue, once it lifts, give it another little spray. And as far as that goes, that's one of the cheapest products to buy. Is a bottle of that stuff is like $2. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's starting to move out. Let's give you a better visual. See if you can see a little bit more there. It's starting to move out. And I'll put this on. And then I'll grab the camera and give you guys an even better visual for right now. Oh, that's probably my hand. And if you noticed, I filmed a couple of videos lately, and it's because I got a new phone. I'm a member of the iPhone crowd. Okay, that's doing its little flicker thing. Let's see if we can change that to... No, now it's doing it worse. Okay, here's what we got. I don't know how the sunlight is affecting that because I can barely even see the screen. But yeah, I'm gonna come through, dial the rest of this in, and there we go. And then obviously make a couple of pushes down here, finish this little guy off up here. That was how that little one came out, right there. I mean, that thing is gone. I can't find it in the orange peel. And then this one right here is the main dealy bob. Oh, if you notice, we do have this little guy right here. And since I drilled the hole, I'm gonna come down and get that one too. Yeah, so I'll come back to you in just a sec and show you the end result. Okay guys, here's what we ended up with. I'm gonna go right into this down here and show you. Right when those pushes at the very end, most severe pushes had to get through that line, started to actually, can you see that? Get super close on it. That it actually started to make a little, almost a crack. It's not a crack, it's moving that metal flake up underneath the base of the paint. But as I was just putting the board on it, I realized I've got a little bit of a line right here that I didn't get. And then I went around, you know, here, got it pretty nice. Did everything through that little hole right there. And we even got this top one on this nice top edge. We got that one out. Let me grab the board and show you guys. Move this like this, hold it way out, swing it, and then just kind of see what I'm looking at here. All the way up. You know, not perfect, but it was definitely a crash damage. And I wanted to make my own personal car look a little bit more presentable, not have a big huge dent in it. Obviously it's gonna need a paint job or something, but we'll probably just get a new car and make this one look as nice as possible and sell it. But once again, I really appreciate you guys clicking on this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a little bit longer. If you would, hit that like on the way out. I sure do appreciate it. Other than that, this has been PDR and I'm out. Peace.